these are things I have noticed. These are my views and this is my point of view. So guys, if I'm wrong or if it sounds like I'm generalizing, then you can correct me. I'm just saying what my experience was in the past month that I was in Uganda. Hi guys, welcome back to Tinah TV. If it's not your first time here, if it is your first time, do consider subscribing if you like what you see, and turn on the notification bell so that you are notified when I post a new video. So as you have seen from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about how things have changed back home. By back home, I mean in Uganda, Africa. So if you do not know me, if it's your first time here, I am from Uganda, East Africa, and I live in Italy, Milan. I have been living here for over 10 years. So I moved when I was quite much younger, but I've been going back home often, almost every year up until COVID. I'm still in touch. I go back home often. I'm still in touch with, things back home. And I was recently at home. I actually have vlogs from that. So if you haven't checked them out, I went for a safari with my kids and it was a nice holiday. So there are videos before this one where I vlogged a little bit of that. Anyway, in this video, I felt like talking about how things have changed back home, and I had this kind of reverse culture shock, you guys, no lie. And I am one of those people who's still really connected to back home. So it's not like I've been away for so long and everything is so new to me. No, I've been going back home often. But I wanted to share this video also to understand if other people are seeing these changes, like other people living in the diaspora, who are immigrants elsewhere, who are living away from home. So the first thing was how individualistic and how much mistrust is among us in the community back home. I mean, when I lived in Uganda, maybe because I was younger, when I went into workspaces, just any social scene, we were like one big happy family. And we talked about anything and everything with no fear of judgment or, the evil eye and that kind of thing. This time when I went back home, I realized that there's a lot of mistrust, even among friends and family. Like there is no trust. Everyone seems to fear what the other person wants from them. Why is she my friend? Who sent you? So I found this a bit disappointing because I was all up there. Let's do this thing. And you could see that people are a bit hesitant about, mixing too much and sharing too much. Too much is relative, but yeah, this is something I noticed. I also noticed that the income inequality has become bigger, like the gap has become way bigger. There are people who are living big, who are living large in Uganda, and I'm like, oh my God, where do they get this money? I don't want to answer that question because I don't know. But also there are people who are living on less than $1, much less than $1 a day or a week. Like there are people who are living in very bad situations. I don't know if the government is doing anything. I don't think so. I don't want to talk so much about the political situation of the country, which is a whole other topic. I try not to get into the political side of things, but also that has become very aggressive and very bad right now. When you go back home, people are tired. People are tired of the current political situation that is not helping the economy in any way. But anyway, back to what I was saying, the income inequality has become crazy. And this in turn, I think is affecting also the security. I realized that back home, people are now so worried about the security because when people are hungry and angry, they're going to do something about it, and it's not going to be a very nice thing. There's going to be more theft. There's going to be people who are hustling and in not the very nice way. So the security, there's a lot of theft. There's a lot of there's lots of robberies because people are trying to find ways to survive. Still on that, you can see that I think maybe that's why people are also not genuine anymore. Goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that there's no trust, but everyone is trying to get something from someone. Like there are no relationships, like real relationships anymore, where I'm your friend, I don't need anything from you. Most times, from what I have noticed, guys, these are things I have noticed. These are my views and this is my point of view. So guys, if I'm wrong or if it sounds like I'm generalizing, then you can correct me. I'm just saying what my experience was in the past month that I was in Uganda. I feel like everyone wants something from someone, you know. You're going to find people who are asking you to tip them and to pay them for doing a job they're already paid to do. But that is probably because they are being paid so little that this is their only way to, you know, to top that up. And I quite understand it, but then it's also very frustrating to have to tip people to do the things they are supposed to do, to have to tip everyone for doing the tiniest things and things that they are supposed to do, you know. It's very frustrating for me, and I found that very, very disturbing, even if I understood that, you know, it's a jungle out there. It's a jungle out there. And I understand that inflation is affecting us as well out here in Europe, in America. All over the world, the inflation is crazy. The prices of everything are going up, but the prices of things back home have tripled and doubled. Like, that's another thing. So I'm moving on to the next point. What's happening with the prices of everything back home? And what is crazy, these prices don't even make sense when you look at how much people are making. I was seeing a post on someone's Instagram. She's called Prim, Nyonyozi Prim, and she was asking people how much they spend weekly on groceries and, you know, how much they spend in their households. And people are explaining the things they're spending on, like basic things, like basic needs, and the amount of money they make and the amount of money they're spending, and it just wasn't making sense. The math wasn't mathing. Same situation out here, don't get me wrong. The inflation and the prices of everything are going up and our salaries are not changing. But when I went home this time, I felt it, because, you know, I was home the other year, and what I was paying for, let's say 10, is now 40, and I'm like, how did that happen? But anyway, not to sound like everything is all so bad, I will talk about the infrastructure and so many new things that I've seen back home. The roads could still do a lot of work, but oh my God, I saw so many new roads, the bypasses that are being built, the new hotels. Woo! There's some really nice hotels, the new swimming pools, new schools, and guys, I'm talking about the city. I'm talking about Kampala. Obviously, it is and it will be a whole different story out in the rural parts of the country. I don't want to speak on that because it will be unfair for me to say that this is a situation for everyone and even the people who are living out in the rural areas. I did go to the villages, but the situation there is quite different. But still, I've seen improvements in the infrastructure, so that was nice to see. I've also seen that people back home have become more aware and more open to self-improvement. I see, for example, health, you know, usually back home, at least the time I was living back home, we didn't care so much about how we ate, exercising, you know, how to take care of our bodies, doing medical checkups, like routine checkups. Now I see that people are more, you know, more keen to do that, which I think is great, because I think that means we are now more aware. And this is very helpful to, you know, put a stop on some diseases, early deaths, or, you know, to improve the quality of life. And of course, this is because we have more information coming in. People have more access to information on the internet, on social media. So yeah, I thought that was great. What else did I notice that is changing back home? I noticed that relationships are quite an exchange. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, everyone wants something from someone. And I'm talking about romantic relationships mostly, but even just platonic relationships. I feel like nobody is out there, you know, just genuinely wanting to spend time with you, genuinely wanting to date you, you know. The men want, you know what, you know, they want some, yeah. And the girls are looking at the wallets and the pockets. So, you know, everything seems like it's an exchange. And this has always been there, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being naive here. I know these things have existed, but I'm just saying that many of these things feel amplified now. So I got a reverse culture shock, I'll be honest. I went back home and I was like, how and when did all this happen? But anyway, guys, home will always be home. For me, Uganda is home. I have created a home here in Italy. I have my family, my kids and everything, but home is home. The home where you're born and bred and where you actually belong, where your DNA belongs is home, you know. So despite all of this, I quite enjoyed my stay. And like I said, if you want to check it out, to check out some of the things that I did, you can check out my vlogs. And yeah, you guys who are living abroad, share with me down in the comment section, what are some of the things you feel have changed back home, you know? What have you seen that is like, gosh, this wasn't like this? Or what do you feel like has changed but it's really, really amplified? I would like to hear from you. And yeah, see you in my next video. Bye bye.